It is an experience. I want people to come in to Restaurant Myse and forget their daily lives, their woes, their worries, let their hair down and have really good fun. Cheese. Myse like cheese. I saw that the building was up for sale, drove to the village, and we just fell in love with the building. And I always wanted to have a restaurant that represented me as a person. Me and my wife are both from the country, and I wanted something that suited my cooking style completely, of like using local artisans, local producers. So it was really important to me that we created something that represented all the local producers, and that's what Myse is all about, is local British food. Today I'm going to be cooking you roasted pork, just cooked over the barbecue with radicchio and blood. So for the first part of the pork dish, we're going to break down the pork. We have the loin here on the bone. This cut is closest to the shoulder. We pick that because it's for the best flavour. So we age the chops for around about a month in our salt chamber. As we can see, it has like incredible marbling on the actual pork. So remove the skin. You can boil this and then dry it and then make it into crackling. Really super delicious. I'm just going to expose the bone a little bit. We expose it just so whilst we're cooking on the barbecue, I have something to grab onto. That's what we're looking for there. I definitely think the most challenging part of my career was actually opening Myse. My mortgage fell through around about 3 times, at which point I had already sold my 2 restaurants in York, so I couldn't return back to it. So I was on the train of opening Myse or losing everything. We had to open Myse. There was no choice about it. So it was make or break. We either opened Myse or I lost all my hard work. But I did it, so.
Off the So now just leaving the pig to rest on top of the fire. To temper the blood in it. Here we're about to make the relish to go along with the pork. So here we have a little British radicchio here. So we have some prunes, which have been soaked in Earl Grey tea, capers, a little bit of tarragon, black garlic, and some anchovy carom as well.
I think the most rewarding part of my career here at Myse so far, the first is the Michelin-starred, winning that in 7 months. That's a dream I've been chasing for 10 years. It wasn't just the 7 months I had here beforehand, it was the 10 years I had at my previous restaurants. And then I think also getting the awards in La Liste in France and getting global recognition for me was once in a lifetime moment.
We're looking for something bitter, not just sweet, to cut through the fatty richness of the pork. So we have preserved magnolia, which has like an amazing flavour of ginger. We have the prunes, which are there for sweetness. And then we've got the actual radicchio there for the bitterness. So now we'll just let this chutney bubble away for around about 10 to 20 minutes to make the dressing for the radicchio. Here we have some Earl Grey tea. That gives it a really nice flavour. We're just taking out the tea bags. And it's almost like a gel we're making. Local apple juice. And then we need an emulsifier. We use xanthan gum to emulsify the product. Thermomix to combine it. So Castel Franco radicchio. We're just going to cut them down into interesting shapes for the plates.
I think you need that tenacity in the kitchen, especially at a high level. So I think it's really important, especially to start at the bottom end of the kitchen. And then once you work your way up and have the more luxurious jobs, it makes it all the more sweeter.
We first off put the radicchio relish on the plate. Next, we're going to place a slice of the pork with a little bit of the fat cap next to it. Then on top of each, we're going to place the dressed radicchio in the Earl Grey tea. And then to finish the dish, we will put the black pudding sauce on.
So we're here in the woods of Hovingham to tap some birch to get the sap, which will reduce down to get the birch sap syrup for the artichoke dish. Looking for big trees with nice swell. It's a really big job. It's one of our favourite dishes we have on is the artichoke and birch sap. So we try and get as much as possible. The dish is actually relatively simple. This part of it is what makes the dish special, where we're harvesting a product that you can only get here. I think it's really individual and a really special product. We'll leave this for 24 hours and then we'll come back tomorrow and see how much liquid gold we've collected.
Now we're going to start making the ice cream, the artichoke ice cream, roasted. So here we have some Jerusalem artichokes from the Yorkshire Dales. And we're just going to roughly chop them. 200 grams of sugar going into the eggs. Artichokes naturally have a huge amount of sugar in them. So with that knowledge, we wanted to use artichokes as a vessel for the ice cream. And we also wanted to have something to use instead of spoons. So the idea came from using the skins as shells to eat the ice cream out of as well. So that's how it came about. So here we've got the artichokes, which have been roasted until the flesh inside is soft. We're now just going to cling film them. This allows us to carry on steaming and it'll make the extraction of the flesh a lot easier. Pouring the artichoke infusion over the whipped eggs. Really? Yeah. So now the artichokes are roasted and steamed. They're now ready to prep for the dish. So the aim of the game is to get all the flesh out. And then just in half, there's a natural indentation there, what tells you where to go. Getting as close to the skin as possible. The closer we get to the skin, the more crisp the crisps will be at the end. I'm just going to place the skins in a sugar syrup. So we'll soak them for 2 hours in the sugar syrup, at which point we'll take it out and bake it in the oven to make them crisp. So now we're going to finish the birch and artichoke desserts. We have a little plate or bowl made by my head chef, Jamie Keeble, whittled himself. And then all the branches we find, we pick and make a little decoration. So the little sweet crisps here to eat the ice cream with, we're just going to place in the center here. And then here we have the artichoke ice cream. Do a little rush of. And then in the center of the divots, the birch sap syrup. And just a little bit of sea salt around the ice cream to finish it off. Here we have a Jerusalem artichoke ice cream with birch sap syrup and artichoke crisps to dip in. The inspiration to keep going and keep creating for me comes actually pretty easy. The reason why we opened this restaurant was to be amongst all the producers and artisans. So new produce, new findings and new forage produce comes across all the time. Looking for that new special ingredient that no one else is using allows us to come up with lots of different creative ideas and new dishes.